Hey guys, it's Angel here with On Purpose with Angel Brandley, and I am here doing what I enjoy doing, which is share nuggets with you guys to hopefully encourage and motivate you to add these things to your life. Sometimes the things I share here will be for you and sometimes they won't be, but don't sleep on them because like squirrels kind of gather their nuts for the winter, you may need to do that with some of these things. So it may not apply right now, but maybe like think about it and just ask God, like, is this for another season? And so I like to remind myself that because there's times I could be in church and I can hear messages and like, oh man, I kind of knew that, or that's not what I needed in this season. And it's always your brain trying to like make everything that you're hearing or seeing make sense. But when I stop trying to make it make sense and realize like, okay, God, let me soak in what's being said, because there may be a moment that I need this and I won't have it because I'm not listening. So I will almost like collect these things like squirrels do their nuts for the winter, so that when the opportunity comes, that if it's something I need, I'm like, oh, I remember when I heard that. And so you may find that you have that in some of my videos, and that's completely fine. But I want to encourage you to listen and just really kind of store some of the things, because I believe the reason God has called me to this is because it's things that He wants to share through me on this channel. Yes, it's On Purpose with Angel Brandley, but it's less about me and more about what God is calling me to do in this season. And so just wanted to kind of tell you that. Today, I'm gonna be really quick. I want to share with you something that He has been dealing with me for a couple of months. And I guess I'm in a space where I can kind of share that more now because I've been doing it. But in the beginning, it was weird. And I will tell you, often it still has its moments where I'm like, I'm not really comfortable, but I am working on it. I'm doing it. And I'm seeing things change within me. And I'm seeing how people are responding to it. So let me not keep it a secret any longer. Today, I want to talk about the power of a compliment. A few months ago, God was like, Angel, I want you to be more intentional about giving compliments. And I thought it was weird because I've struggled with giving compliments for a very long time. Not only just giving them, but receiving them. And so when I felt God kind of pushing me to be more intentional about giving compliments, I realized that He was trying to change something within me. So naturally, if you watch some of my videos, I always do things in the grocery store. I don't really know why, but that's just like my practice ground. And so I started just looking for opportunities to compliment people in the store. And so it would always be authentic. That's number one. If you decide to add this, make sure that you're being authentic, because I'm not asking you to lie to people. I'm asking you to look for things that you feel like, oh my God, their hair looks nice today. Then say that. But if you don't think their hair looks nice, you may like their shoes. Say that. Don't like just make up stuff, because people can feel when you're being honest and authentic with what you're saying to them. And so I would look for opportunities to be authentic and to give a very genuine compliment. And so I'll give you an example. One day I was leaving out of Target and I saw a lady was walking in, and she kind of had this look on her face, and I kind of felt like she was kind of like people say, like mugging me. Like I was like, But instead of focusing on what was happening, I said to her, oh my God, that green shirt looks great on you. I'm not actually sure if that was the exact compliment, but it was something about her clothing, I know for sure. But we'll go with the green shirt. And she was like, it went from me thinking she was mugging me to like this, her face lit up. And she was like, oh, thank you so much. I didn't like this shirt this morning. But I've gotten a few compliments today. And so I got in the car and I was like, that was interesting. And God really began to speak to me about that moment. He said, Angel, your compliment, you're making it more about you than about the person. I am trying to get things in the earth through various ways to heal my people. You never know what someone is going through. And a simple compliment could change their day. It can change their heart. It can change their mood. And so he said, I need you to be less concerned about how someone is going to feel about you saying something, because when you give the compliment, I'm going to do the work. And I was like, whoa. I'm going to say that again. You're going to give the compliment. You're the instrument, but I am going to do the work. And I was like, wow. And then I continued giving the compliments, and I saw people light up. And then I began to look up like, okay, what is the power of a compliment? And you can do this yourself. I'm not trying to be like all scientific about it. But I ran across several articles that said that research showed that a compliment in the brain registers the same as receiving a cash reward. And I'm like, what? If you go somewhere and you're having a bad day, but someone says, you're a winner, and they give you $100, your whole posture is like, you go from slumping over to like, $100. Yes, thank you. You're excited. Do you know that a compliment has the potential and the power to register in someone's brain the same way we're giving them $100 would? But the crazy part about it is that compliment could last longer than $100, because I could have given the lady at Target $100 and she could have went right in Target and spent that $100. But that compliment from a stranger could register and just go in her mind over and over. And it's really not from me, but it's God reminding her that I see you, I love you, I am with you. And so I have almost become addicted to giving compliments. I'm looking for it. I'm always like, okay, those are nice shoes. If I have that thought, I'm like, that's not my thought. I may be attracted to the shoes. I may think like, oh, that looks nice. But this thought belongs to God. I should tell the person that I feel this way, that I see them, that I love them, that they are seen by God. I may not use the word like, oh, you're seen by God. But there are times when people are like, oh my God, I had such a bad day. And I'm like, this is all God. I promise you, I was turned around. Like, I felt like I was forced to turn around to look at you. And I believe that's because God wanted you to know that he sees you today. But I don't always go that deep, because that's not necessary. Just you opening your mouth and sharing and giving a compliment has the power to change someone's day, change their life. I know that sounds crazy, but I want you to chew on that. Your compliment can play a role in changing someone's life. And so the more I give them out, I'm noticing that I'm starting to receive more compliments. And it's really funny to me because I don't do well with receiving them. I'm usually like, oh, really? And as I was studying about the power of a compliment, I realized that a lot of times I didn't receive compliments well because I didn't believe those things about myself. And usually when someone says something about you that contradicts what you believe, you won't receive it well. That's not always the case. Some people are just shy, and that's just a natural response. But for me personally, people would give compliments that I didn't believe. And so I would struggle with receiving them, and I just would get really awkward. But the more I begin to receive them and also just study the word and allow what God says about me to become the truth of who I am, not my past, not my mistakes, but based off what God has said about me and how he sees me, I am noticing that people around me, people that know me and strangers, see what God sees, not what I see. And so the more I've shared and I've given out compliments, God is healing me in the area of not being able to receive them. And so I want to encourage you to use the power of a compliment, but not just with other people. I want you to start with you. A lot of times we like to say like affirmations or just writing notes to yourself, however you want to label it. I want to encourage you to begin to say things to yourself. Maybe say one or two things that you already believe. And if there's an area that you're struggling in, create an affirmation around that. That will allow you to begin to renew your mind, to rewire your mind about what you think about yourself. And then after you do that, I want you to look for opportunities, at least once a day, to give someone a genuine, authentic compliment. Maybe someone, all right, we're gonna slow that down. I want you to give it to someone you know and to a stranger. There is so much power in it, guys. I promise you, doing something this small will directly and indirectly change you as well. So take advantage of the opportunity to be God's voice in the earth through compliments. The brain will register it as almost like a cash reward, and people will be able to go back and like ruminate, think about the things that they heard. And we're so freely giving like criticism in this world today. How about we start being more, or like negative criticism? How about we be more intentional about being positive and telling someone something great about themselves? You put colors of your clothes together very well. I love the way you coordinate clothing. That's a compliment. Oh, your hair looks nice. I tell myself that now. That's not me being bougie. I'm like, girl, your hair looks good. So then when other people tell me, I'm like, oh, thank you. But I actually do believe it. And I used to not believe it, I promise you. Or someone would say like, you have pretty eyes. And I'm like, really? Or the thing that has really been registering with me lately is, you have an amazing voice. That is one. I could almost believe the hair when I thought my hair looked good, but when I didn't think it looked good, I would not receive it well. But also when I would hear things about my eyes, like I didn't really have a hard time receiving that one. I believe that I have nice eyes, but my voice and the tone of my voice, I didn't receive that one well. And so recently, even actually in the last 3 or 4 months, so many people have complimented my voice, and I'm like, what in the world? And there was so much trauma around my voice, and I'll share that in another video, that I just didn't believe that I had a nice voice. But God is restoring that that belief in me to say like, your voice is unique and it is special and it needs to be heard. And that's not just like to be on a big stage, but even just within your relationships, you're so concerned about your voice and how it may be perceived that you're not doing what I've called you to do. And so I'm learning to accept those compliments and allowing them to renew my mind about what I think about myself, and now seeing that people see me the way that God sees me. I love you, friends. I hope that you take advantage of the power of a compliment. I hope you have an amazing day. Thanks again for watching. I love you. Bye.